In the bustling city of Onitsha, Nigeria, there was a man everyone trusted, a man who wore many hats, Pastor Chima, a well-known spiritual leader. Pastor Chima was also a thrift collector, also known as a jaw collector, helping people save money for times of need. Pastor Chima was different from other pastors because he never took tithes or offerings, yet his church was one of the biggest, most magnificent church buildings in the city and a congregation that grew every week. People adored him not just for his preaching and miraculous healing, but because he generously fed his church members every Sunday. New members were welcomed with 10,000 naira cash, a gift from the kind-hearted pastor. Pastor Chima Ajo Group was equally popular, with hundreds contributing regularly. But there was one peculiar thing about his ajo: he only accepted cash. He would refuse bank transfers, claiming that it was simple and less worldly to handle cash. Anyone who insists in transferring funds was promptly refunded and told to leave his ajo group. Members of his ajo saw no issue with following his rules. After all, wasn't this the same pastor who helped feed them every Sunday? However, strange things happened to those involved in Pastor Chima's ajo. They began experiencing misfortunes, illnesses that defied medical explanation, sudden business failures, unexplainable marriage crises, and heartbreaking family conflicts. No member of his ajo group was free from these setbacks. Then whispers started circulating among the members. Some suspected Pastor Chima was responsible for their misfortunes, but most dismissed this idea, convinced that the setback were mere coincidence. After all, how would a man who seemed so godly and selfless be the source of their problems? Then came Binta, a lively, optimistic young woman in her 20s who recently joined Pastor Chima's ajo. One night, Binta had a dream that left her frightened. In the dream, she saw herself owning a beautiful cow painted in bright red. Just as she admired the cow, Pastor Chima appeared out of nowhere, grabbing the cow from her hands. She was helpless. She watched as he killed the cow, cooking and feasting on it with a wicked smile. She woke up in a cold sweat, feeling deeply unsettled. Since she was unable to demystify the dream herself, she visited her father the next day. Her father, known in their community for his gifts in interpreting dreams. Binta's father listened as she recounted every detail from her dream. Binta, her father said, "This dream is a warning. The cow represents your fortune, your life's blessings. Pastor Chima is not who he seems. He is stealing people's glory, taking what belongs to them to enrich himself. The red paint on the cow signifies blood, a demonic ritual sacrifice. If he has a red item in his church, that is where he hides his secrets. You must check Binta. Binta was horrified. But Papa, Pastor Chima, the man everyone trusts, he feeds people every Sunday. Her father replied, sometimes kindness is a mask for evil. Trust your dream. If you find anything red in his church, that is where his dark deeds lie. Determined to uncover the truth, Binta shared the dream with a few trusted friends, all of whom were members of Pastors Chima Ajo. They laughed it off, dismissing her father's warning, but Binta couldn't ignore it. The following Sunday, Binta went to Pastor Chima's church, pretending to be there to worship. She watched as he preached, his voice filling the air with a mix of authority and sweetness, captivating his congregation. But she noticed something unsettling. A large red carpet stretched across the altar. Her heart pounded as her father's words echoed in her mind. At the mid of Pastor Chima's sermon, Binta stood up as she walked to the altar. She knelt at the altar and lifted the edge of the red carpet. Behold, the hidden contents were exposed and members were shocked. Under the carpet were cash from the Ajo contribution and diabolic items, including a baby skull. Seeing that, some of his congregation fainted, some screamed. The reality of what they were seeing shattered their trust and belief. Pastor Chima tried to escape, but the men of the church surrounded him, blocking his path. After Pastor Chima was caught, he confessed that he had used dark powers to bind his Ajo members to misfortune. He had been collecting their destinies and blessings through the cash they contributed to maintain his power and wealth. Every time they experienced hardship, his life grew richer. Pastor Chima was handed over to the authorities while his church was shut down. The members of Pastor Chima's Ajo slowly began to regain their fortunes, as if a dark shadow had finally been lifted off their lives. Binta became a symbol of courage, and her stories served as a reminder to the people of Onitsha.